going to go ahead and get started tonight. We're going to begin with some opening remarks, and our director of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, Director Darrell Weaver.
Thank you, Mark. I want to make a few remarks this evening before I turn it to Mike Snow. I want to talk a little bit after just a welcome here. I want to talk somewhat about the history of how the Bureau of Narcotics. It's always a very legitimate question. How did we get involved in human trafficking investigations? So I'll address that a little bit. But we truly appreciate you coming out tonight. It's awful cold out there. And if being in Oklahoma, if we'd have waited about a few more hours, it may have been 70 degrees. Who knows? The way it goes around Oklahoma. I want to thank Senator Justice. I don't know where you go. Senator Justice, he and Joyce, my friend Joyce here, the beautiful purple scarf. We've been putting on these seminars, or we're calling them somewhat town hall meetings and things of that nature around the state. We put on probably, 7 or 8 of them from one end of the state to the other. And Senator Justice had texted me, and of course I had a lot of contact with him up in the Capitol, and a friend had been out with us ever since he's been elected, been out at ground zero with the Bureau of Narcotics. And he called me and said, Joyce and one of his constituents was very interested in human trafficking, and knew we were doing these type of things or wanted to do something like this. So, I just appreciate citizens that want to do something about the problems. If there's one thing I've learned in my 28 years at the Bureau of Narcotics and 8 going on 9 as the director, and that is we cannot solve the problems that we are all faced with as far as the things we deal with without the public being involved, intimately involved. And drug enforcement, we've done for going on 40 years next year. Human trafficking, it's only been a few years. But there's one thing that we've learned: we can't not do it without our partners in law enforcement, and we can't do it without the citizens. So it's very important. And even, I think that, you always want a lot of people at these things. But I'm a firm believer, having been a part of little town hall meetings all my whole career, is the right people will be. And that's what's key. The people that will take what we say and learn something and extract it and take it and apply it and do something about it. I would rather have a small cadre of people that will go out and change the world than 10,000 people that hear it and do nothing. So you're here for a reason. Nothing happens, in my opinion, nothing happens in this old world without cause. There's a reason for you to be here tonight and that you're here. So we appreciate you being here. Let me give you some ground rules. These town hall meetings are usually, obviously, during the week. There's people that have to get home, the kids in bed, people that want to get in front of the fireplace and watch and wind down. So we start these at 7 o'clock, and we have done this every time. And what we noticed about some of the intelligence information we started to receive, that the same groups that were trafficking in narcotics were now trafficking in girls. And we didn't, it's one of those crimes, quite frankly, that people don't want to realize is happening. Because it's hideous. We all have a connection to a female. All of us. We all have mothers. Most have daughters. Most have nieces. We all have these females in our lives that we look at and think to ourselves, just what if that was our child? It's just hard to imagine. So I think sometimes we rock along in life and you think to yourself, is it really going on out there? And by the way, let's settle that right now. It is. It is. More domestic than international, and I can get into all that. But because of that, we started looking at it, and we realized that we had at the Bureau of Narcotics the skill set to be able to go undercover, because this is not, type of crimes you do not do at arm's length.